Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Progressive Discussions. I'm your host, James P. Madonna, and it is Sunday afternoon, this time the beginning of September. It happens to be Labor Day weekend 2023. The unofficial ending of summer. Unofficial because the first day of autumn is, I believe, September 22nd, right? 21st or 22nd. I think it might be 22nd. It's either one. They call it that's the transition into autumn, my favorite time of year, with the most enjoyable holidays, in my opinion, and fantastic weather and beautiful leaves turning colors. But this is it. Happy Labor Day weekend, everyone. I'm very happy also to see that the New York Yankees upper management has finally wised up and is is has dumped the old geezer, washed up veteran ball players who are in the twilight of their career or your career is done. The idiot Brian Cashman, the general manager for the Yankees, has been there with that, having that job for 25 years, I believe. And he was obsessed with signing up older, established veterans with long contracts and pissing away countless millions of New York Yankees money. And now they brought up the superstars of their AAA farm team that are doing outstanding. Get some young blood in there and kick out the old geezers, and don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. It's incredible. They're getting paid for not performing, and when they get a little boo boo, they go on um, the uh, the injury list. Um, and they still get paid no matter how minor or how severe the injury is. So you had all these old farts that were not worth a long-term contract, uh, constantly getting hurt, sitting it out. And I know with Giancarlo Stanton's long-term contract, he has a no-trade clause, and he's a one-hit wonder. I mean, he produces. You know, he's relatively consistent, even though he's very injury prone. Um, I think he has 30 home runs now, but he's a one-hit wonder. When the Yankees picked him up, that's when after he had that great year with the Miami Marlins, hitting 59 home runs, and just edging out Aaron Judge at that time. But he's a one-hit wonder. He's consistent, but excuse me, the ragweed season must be here. He's consistent, but he's not the mega slugger that they thought they were going to get. And I would definitely, you know, at that time, Brian Cashman was probably all excited to get him, and that was the stipulation, to have a no trade clause. But anyway, I hope everyone is enjoying their Labor Day weekend 2023. I remember when it was Memorial Day weekend, like it was yesterday. How about that? How time flies. Well, it is time to go to the first topic. Let's see what we got here. Oh, hold on. It's not an article. It's just something I need to talk about. Okay. It's a Chiseler's Hall of Shame inductee, and that has to do with all of these companies today that not only do they bombard you with nonstop, obnoxious, intrusive spamming and advertisement, and every time you want to read something interesting on the internet, you want to read an article or perhaps watch a video, they just bombard the hell out of you. And hold on for a second. What's going on here, man? Glitch after glitch after glitch after glitch. I was wondering, where the hell are my captions? Fuck. There we go. The captions were playing when I wasn't live. Now that I'm live, they stop playing. What the fuck is going on here? Anyway, where was I? All right, you're getting bombarded with nonstop advertisement, spam, and sometimes you can't even close the page, and sometimes you're not clicking on the advertisement, and they're forcing you to look at the advertisement. It's really getting out of hand. The salesmanship in this country, the way it's been getting, and they lie. I mean, false advertisement is like the norm now. They just allow it. Before, the companies would get in trouble committing a false advertisement or making false claims. Now it's such an infestation that the the system powers that be just have turn a blind eye to it. So what I'm going to talk about here is something called clickbait. And yes, they are all inducted, as far as I'm concerned, into the Chiseler's Hall of Shame, all these companies. And clickbait is when, let's say, you see an article online and you have, let's say it's not a political article or something of that nature. Let's say, I don't want to say it's frivolous, but let's say it's just interesting. And you have in the title a subject matter or advice or a consumer tip that really catches your eye, and you go, oh, wow, I want to look at this. I want to look at this. Now, in this case, it's the little plastic clip that comes with a supermarket bread, sliced bread from in the supermarket. There's a little plastic clip, right, to keep the bag twisted and closed. Well, many of these scumbag companies have in the initial presentation of the web page they want you to go to, it'll say, keep this item in your wallet at all times. Like you can do something with it, something clever, something handy, maybe an emergency. Keep this in your wallet at all times. Well, guess what? You go to the web page to read the article, thinking you're going to find out what the reason is for me keeping the plastic bread clip in my wallet, and it goes on and on and on with stupid tips. Some of them are ridiculous. Some of them won't even work, or some of them are just not even worth trying. And there's other links to other advertisements where they want to steer you towards, so you can part with your hard-earned money and get ripped off. But there's nothing about the little bread clip, nothing. So that is an example of a current a clickbait lure, because that's all it is. It's a lure. It's a lure to get you to bite so you get hooked. Actually, that's a pretty good comparison. It's a lure, like a fishing lure. But shame on you. You're all pieces of shit, scumbag CEOs or owners of these companies. I'm telling you, salesmanship has one purpose and one purpose only, to get people to part with their money. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now we'll go on to some articles. All right. We'll discuss this one. Hopefully I won't get aggravated. Is this it? Let's see. No, that's not it. It has nothing to do with streaming. Okay, here we go. A mysterious Arctic shark that can live for 500 years got lost and ended up swimming in the balmy waters of the Caribbean, scientists say. And there is the very unusual prehistoric looking shark, and it is more than prehistoric looking and unusual, to say the least. A Greenland shark picture taken at the floe edge of the Admiralty Inlet, Nunavut. Okay, that must be a Scandinavian word. That must be up in Greenland. A shark was found in the Caribbean, thousands of miles away from its usual habitat in the Arctic. The Greenland shark, which has a lifespan of between 250 and 500 years, surprised researchers in Belize, which is a Central American country on the Caribbean. They say Belize has the best reefs in the Caribbean. Cayman Islands also. It looked like something that would exist in prehistoric times, said a biologist. Biologists were stunned to find a mysterious cold water shark thousands of miles away from its natural habitat, according to a recent marine study. A Greenland shark, the longest living vertebrate on Earth, was discovered in the tropical Caribbean Sea. Yeah, and if this is not proof of global warming and climate change screwing up the creatures on this planet, I don't know what it is. Researchers were tagging and temporarily catching tiger sharks off the coast of Belize when they encountered the mysterious shark, said a paper recently published in the science journal Marine Biology. After setting a line in Belize's protected Glover's Reef Atoll while monitoring and researching tiger sharks, the biologists returned to find their line had moved several miles away from the coral reef into waters as deep as 2,000 feet. When they retrieved their scientific catch, they were astonished to find the ancient Greenland shark. One of the researchers, Hector Daniel Martinez, remarked, "It looked very, very old," emphasizing its deep sea habitat. Initially, the scientists suspected it might be a six-gill shark, a dominant deep-sea predator, but upon photographing the rarely seen animal, they confirmed its identity as most likely a Greenland shark. We suddenly saw a very slow-moving, sluggish creature under the surface of the water. Oh boy. Devanshi Kasana, a biologist and PhD candidate at Florida International University's Predator Ecology and Conservation Lab. What a long title. Mashable? What the hell's Mashable? Mashable reported it looked like something that would exist in prehistoric times. So all that mumbo jumbo to say the same thing. Greenland sharks are the longest living vertebrates on Earth, with an astonishing lifespan of 250 to 500 years. I was shocked. This is the first time I've heard this. I had no idea they were the longest living vertebrate. I had no idea they had a lifespan like this. God bless them. The sharks live thousands of feet underwater in pitch darkness and are rarely seen or photographed. And little detail is known of their incredibly long lives. Well, maybe they live so long because they're simply kept in the dark about everything. All right. In the depths of the water, they grow, move, and age slowly. Yeah, I would say so. Their energy conserving, slow paced lifestyle is an essential adaptation to the nutrient scarce deep sea. Finding a Greenland shark near a coral reef off Belize was unexpected but plausible. These obscure sharks thrive in the Arctic's deep seas and could inhabit other deep ocean regions, including the Caribbean. The nearby reef's slope plunges to depths of up to 9,500 feet, offering a cold and dark environment suited for Greenland sharks. Wow, that's pretty deep. The discovery raises the question of whether this particular Greenland shark migrated to the Caribbean from Arctic waters, or if it spent much of its life in the depths of tropical waters off waters of the region. It remains unanswered, but there is a strong likelihood that more of these enigmatic creatures roam the dark depths of the Caribbean, hidden from our sight. I doubt it's the only one. Damien Chapman, director of Sharks and Rays Conservation Research at Mote Marine Laboratory and Aquarium. Oh, I hate when I have to read these titles so long. Told Mashable. Mashable? Mashed potatoes? I don't even know what Mashable is. They have to wait. They have to wait more than 100 years to get laid. The deep seas remain largely unexplored, and the discovery of this Arctic shark serves as a reminder that the ocean and its biosphere are much unknown. A, a 220, a 2020 study determined via genetic analysis that there are two geographically separate populations of Greenland sharks. One group swims near Canada's Baffin Basin above the Arctic Circle, while the other occupies waters of the North Atlantic Ocean between Nova Scotia and Svalbard near Norway. I bet the fishing is great there. Greenland sharks are primarily scavengers, eating everything dead or alive. Well, can't be fussy when you're moving that slow. Including fish, seals, polar bears, and whales. Really? They take a bite out of a polar bear? I guess they're not as lethargic as I thought. Some can grow to 24 feet long and weigh up to 2,645 pounds. It's a big shark. Even though they grow only up to 0.4 inches, which is 1 centimeter annually. According to a 2016 study, Greenland sharks don't reach sexual maturity until they are at least 134 years old. Poor babies. They have to wait more than 100 years to get laid. I'm sure they're not happy about that. Well, they don't know any better. What you don't know and don't experience, you don't miss. I don't know if fish actually have sexual tension building up. I really don't know. Julius Nielsen, a co-author of that study, told New Scientist in 2016. Huh. Oh, Dr. Gundry, I watch his videos all the time. He's a famous medical nutritionist, originally a famous, very famous board certified cardiologist that invented a cardiology, medical cardiology machines that are used today. At least one in particular. Now, he mentioned this about oatmeal, and I've done it ever since. Um, in nature, grains, which are seeds, people don't realize this, but they use they coat themselves with a toxin called phytate lactin, phytate lectins, and this is to prevent other creatures from eating them so they can reproduce successfully. But these lectins wreak havoc on our health and are connected to many uh, common illnesses and serious illnesses that people have today. So what you need to do is you need to thoroughly wash the lectins off the grains. In this case, let's take organic rolled oats. I put it in a very fine mesh strainer and I turn the kitchen sink on low, and then I put it on shower. I hit the button that makes it come down like a shower, and it 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 vigorously causes a turbulence, which causes the rolled oats to roll around. And I rinse them very well, and you could tell that the lectins are coming off by the cloudy water that flows into the sink. And when the cloudy water gets clear, it's done. You have to do this, and there are many vegetables out there, um, or fruits, but not all. Some don't have these lectins, whereas the lectins are in the skin, so you have to peel it. There are cases where you need to peel your fruits or vegetables, like a cucumber should be peeled. Tomatoes, definitely. Tomato skin is very high in lectins, and the seeds too. Um, I think potatoes. Um, Maybe I'm not positive about white potatoes, but there are oh, the nightshade family. Like eggplant. Um, they all need to be peeled because of the toxic lectins. But you can look it up on the internet. What fruits and vegetables and foods are high in lectins, and do what you have to do. All right. Okay. Um, yeah, let's see what we got here. Oh, I might as well get this out of the way because this is definitely a Chiseler's Hall of Shame inductee. But what I need to do is, unfortunately, I need to visit the restroom here at the Progressive Discussion Studio. I need to visit our public restroom. So I will be back in a flash with the following article. Don't go away. Okay, I'm back. I am back. You know, we don't have commercials like TV shows have, where the host gets to go to the restroom during the commercial break. There are no commercial breaks with well, at least with my live stream, because I don't have sponsors, and it would probably be very difficult to get sponsors because of how outspoken I am. They want companies, in order for them to sponsor your show, you got to be kind of kissy ass with everybody. Make nice, and you have to sugarcoat life. And I'm not. That's not me. Okay. All right. Here we go. Well, this is definitely a strange situation. Okay. Let's check this out. Can't watch the video because the streaming company, the microphone just won't pick it up. I don't understand the logic of that. Wrong side. I was ticketed for parking in my own driveway, just feet from my door after 43 years. The little known law to watch for. Yeah, well, so much for the American dream of owning your own home. Huh, that's a joke. A car owner has been cited with a ticket on their vehicle for simply parking it in the driveway of their home. The Andrews family have been living in their San Diego, California home for over 40 years and expressed that they'd never run into any issues with the city in the past regarding the vehicle in front of their house. And there is their driveway. There is their garage. All right, so what's the problem? Oh, oh, what are they supposed to do? Get like motorcycles or electric scooters or something to get it to fit? Parking ticket was for blocking the sideway. Well, uh, well, this is the problem here is with the builders of the home that should have built the home or the garage, if the garage is not part of the home, a little farther back. They do have an extremely short driveway. I understand what's going on. So what you should have done, Andrew's family, is you should have eliminated the grass in front of your house and have like asphalt poured so you can park your vehicle sideways. Okay. But it's common sense. You see, people they cry foul and everything, but there's really two sides of the story. Now, before I continue to read this, as you can see, the driveway is extremely short, and she is, in fact, on the sidewalk. She is blocking the sidewalk. Andrews expressed that she's also having a hard time grasping why her family's car was the only one ticketed in the neighborhood. Oh, the only one. Well, maybe she's the only one that had a super short driveway and other people were not blocking the sidewalk. There you go. Now you see how you have to hear both sides of the story. Ticketed for parking in their own driveway. Okay, so the title of the article doesn't mention blocking sidewalk. Andrew said that her family's vehicle is the only one to get penalized for the violation through multiple other cars stick out into the driveway. So in other words, there's a pattern of very short driveways in this neighborhood. But she was the only one ticketed. Now I understand her complaint. It's justified now. If other people have the same situation, she should definitely take this to the city courthouse. Okay, that being said, apparently the family's Buick Enclave was ticketed because it is just a bit too big for their driveway. All right. The vehicle, I'm not even gonna mention the people involved, the media people and their long, dragged out titles to give kudos to who they are. I'm going to skip over that because I'm not doing it anymore. Getting tired of it. The vehicle sticks out. He displayed with a video of the parked automobile. Well, yeah, I don't have to play the video. Not that you'll hear it, but it's obvious. The driveway's too short. No shit. No kidding. The vehicle is too long. So it's moving into the sidewalk right there. The city of San Diego's website does not state that parking is prohibited on the sidewalk. Oh, really? And the vehicle code also notes the same regulation. Oh, she could definitely take this to court. You see, now we're getting the entire story here. All right, that's that. Good luck to you, Andrew's family. I think you definitely have a point, and I don't know why the builders um, design these homes this way. Cars in the even if the car, well, the house is old. She's been there over 40 years. The house is old, and I'll tell you right now, cars 40 years ago and over were much larger than the new cars today. So I have no idea why the driveways are so short. Even if their intent was for people to put their car in a garage just every time they came home, which is a nuisance. You only put your car in a garage for the night, overnight, not to constantly put it in the garage every time you come home. So I understand. I understand the case here. Yeah, I should be a judge, not Aaron Judge, like a legal judge. I'm good at solving problems, quagmires of life. Uh, let's see. What should I do? Huh. Oh, this is pretty interesting. This is very similar to what I've been saying for years. Just want to make sure the article pops up. There we go. All right, here we go. Cornel West. Everybody knows Cornel West, or you should. Cornel West calls Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez window dressing at worst for Democrats. Yeah, I like Cornel West. He's very progressive. Progressive third party. I'm sorry that the microphone will not pick up this video. I'm really sorry about that because I would love to play it. Progressive third party presidential candidate Cornel West called Senator Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez two of the more famous liberals in Congress. That's true. He called them window dressing at worst for the Democratic Party in an interview on The Hill's, quote, rising, unquote, on Tuesday. West, who backed Sanders' 2016 White House bid, was asked to respond to remarks the Vermont Independent made in a Sunday interview during which he defended his support for President Biden's re-election bid by underscoring the importance of preserving democracy and preventing former President Trump from returning to the White House. Brother Bernie's making a plausible argument, but I think deep down in his heart, he knows that the Democratic Party has no fundamental intention of speaking to the needs of poor people and working people. Well, I agree with that. They're corporatists. The left-wing academic said, adding, and that he and AOC and the others are going to be, in a certain sense, window dressing at worst. meaning Bernie Sanders and AOC. Uh, and at best, people to appeal to every 4 years. But the Democratic Party is beyond redemption at this point. When it comes to seriously speaking to the needs of poor and working people, West said the Hill has reached out to the offices of Sanders and AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, for further comment. They have been two of the most vocal progressives in Congress and have consistently pushed the Biden administration to take more liberal positions and policy steps, including recently on his student loan debt forgiveness plan. Yeah, when the hell is he going to do that? What is he waiting for, Joe Biden? In an interview Sunday, Sanders pushed back on some earlier criticism from West, who had claimed the senator was supporting Biden because he was fearful of neo-fascism of Trump. Yeah, well, that's why Raisin Balls Bernie Sanders backed Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden because he did not want to split the vote. He was afraid of Trump getting elected. Meanwhile, Trump ended up getting elected for one term anyway, defeating Hillary Clinton. Where I disagree with my good friend of Cornel West is I think in these really very difficult times where there is a real question whether democracy is going to remain in the United States of America, Sanders said on CNN's State of the Union, when asked about West's remarks, he made a similar point on NBC's Meet the Press. Yeah, what is it? You know, Donald Trump is not somebody who believes in democracy. He continued on CNN. Whether women are going to be able to continue to control their own bodies, whether we have social justice in America, and bigotry around that, I think we have got to bring the entire progressive community to defeat Trump or whoever the Republican nominee will be. That sounds like he doesn't want to split the vote. Okay. He just doesn't have the balls to start a new third Progressive People's Party. Okay. West responded on Tuesday. I think it's a plausible argument. I just don't think it's a persuasive one. I think that the argument he's making means that there's never any possibility for breaking from the corporate duopoly. Cornel West is right. There's never any possibility of trying to speak to the needs of poor and working people. The corporate duopoly, the two-party system. That's pretty much what that is. Ocasio-Cortez also recently backed Biden's reelection efforts, saying on a podcast when asked, I think he's done quite well given the limitations that we have. Yes, but he's too much of a moderate, and he's turning his back on his progressive campaign promises that he made to Bernie Sanders. Okay, I mean, where is universal health care? Single payer Medicare for all. Where is the student loan forgiveness? I mean, I thought he was supposed to stock the Supreme Court with progressives. And what happened to all those nice executive orders he signed when he first got elected? He hasn't signed any since. Biden is trying to uh, appease the corporatist right wing. He's trying to. He doesn't want to rock the boat, obviously, because he takes big money on his campaigns. So therefore, he owes big favors to the forces of evil. Yeah, and it looks like Bernie Sanders. I don't want to blame AOC because, she's young and she's still not experienced enough as a congresswoman. This is only her second term as a congresswoman, but congressperson. But Bernie Sanders should know better. Bernie Sanders is seems like he's a sycophant to Joe Biden's corporatism. He's drifting just a little to the right. I hate to say this. Raisin balls Sanders. Oh, here's a change of pace. Everything is quiet, maybe because people possibly went away visiting friends or family, or maybe they're spending time with family, having barbecues, because this is the unofficial ending of summer. Maybe they're down the beach because after Labor Day, the lifeguards are not scheduled to work anymore. So maybe that's why it's quiet. Okay. This is kind of funny, but it's part of life. It's has to do with dating, relationships, human behavior, psychology. Okay. Bad boys, bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we come for you? 3 reasons why the bad boy archetype is so irresistibly attractive. Because women are really controlled by emotions, and they're not logical. I hate to say that. They're just not logical. Even when uh, when they when they decide to be career women and they take managerial positions, executive positions of authority, whatever, it's very hard to get along with them because they are very emotional on the job. They like you, they don't like you, you know, you don't kiss their ass enough, therefore they favor somebody else, they're moody. One day they're really nice, the next day they're nasty to everyone in the office. Maybe they're taking their frustrations out on their coworkers and employees. They just don't make decisions based on logic. Have you ever found yourself drawn to? Well, this is I guess they're talking to women. Have you ever found yourself drawn to someone who is rebellious, enigmatic, and often turbulent? You're not alone. For generations, people have been fascinated by the allure of the bad boy archetype. Generations, really? Despite being well aware, I guess this is a photo of a bad boy because of the way he's looking, squinting his eyes. See, his eyebrows are down. Despite being well aware of the potential pitfalls, many men and women find themselves irresistibly attracted to individuals with objectionable yet attractive personalities. What is it about bad boys that makes them so magnetic? Men? You're saying that men do this? Not the men I know. From their confidence and charm to their unpredictability and sense of adventure, there are many reasons people cite to describe the appeal of these mysterious and dangerous men. Yeah, until somebody gets burnt by one of them, and then they cry the blues to their family and friends. Boo hoo hoo, he hurt me. He betrayed me. Oh, I am devastated. I am so heartbroken. Woo, wah, wah. Yeah. And then they want you to listen to them. Meanwhile, it was their choice. Okay. There are three secrets behind the bad boy archetype's persisting appeal. Number one, the fine line between confidence and conceit. They're right about that. The appeal of bad boys largely centers on the aura of confidence they exude. While confidence is usually a healthy trait in a potential partner, it is imperative to differentiate authentic self-assuredness from masked arrogance rooted in insecurity. The former is marked by emotional self-sufficiency and independence, whereas the latter can be identified through the paradoxical "I don't need you" attitude, which can counterintuitively draw people in. A rugged, seemingly unshakable persona can be enticing, inviting people to uncover the possibility of an elusive, softer side. This allure, akin to dark traits of rebelliousness, impulsivity, and stubbornness, promises a thrilling ride. A thrilling ride. Oh, God. Uh, yeah, but are, is this the making of a healthy long-term relationship? I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. Let's see. A study published in the European Journal of Personality sheds light on the linkages between narcissism and increased mate appeal in both men and women. The findings suggest that narcissism can act as a magnet of sorts, drawing individuals towards those who exhibit these damaging traits. This allure can be particularly pronounced in the context of short-term relationships where the thrill of the chase and the excitement of novelty may play a significant role. That's kind of like what I said before. Short-term. The attraction to bad boys can also be likened to a challenging yet engaging puzzle or a complex game of discovery, providing a sense of purpose and distraction. One may find satisfaction in attempting to fix or tame these complex individuals and seek validation if one's worth by breaking through their tough exterior to reveal a presumed softer interior. Sounds like you're marinating a London broil here. To top it all, if you are someone who constantly seeks external validation, the chase might become even more attractive to you as it falsely promises to fulfill an unmet need. You see, that's another insecurity, constantly seeking out validation from others. You have to understand that happiness has to be created from within you. You cannot receive true happiness from external sources. No one can make you genuinely happy. Okay? The tempting love-hate dynamic. While nobody enjoys being played or enduring chaotic relationships, there's a subconscious pull towards the emotional chaos that bad boys often bring. The bad boy's tendency to oscillate between positive and negative treatment can be both excruciating and pleasurable. Well, I would say these are women that didn't have a good, solid home life, parenting. Their parents were lacking. They did not have a good, solid, normal home life growing up. So they're very insecure. The subconscious pull towards this turmoil may be rooted in childhood experiences, societal norms dictating our choices, or past relationships that may have imprinted certain patterns in our behavior that play out our subsequent relationships. Well, anyway, love bombing, the complex dynamics of love bombing. Let's see. Another common manipulative tactic employed by the bad boy is love bombing, wherein a seemingly protective and passionately attentive demeanor, typical of a caring partner, harbors aggressive, controlling, reckless, and possessive motivations. Yeah, the lunatic, the guy that becomes a stalker if you reject him, if you break up with him. While it may seem like they're pursuing you, it may all be a carefully crafted act to keep you from questioning or doubting them. They skillfully push your buttons, making you overlook their unexplained absences or their blatant disregard for your needs or boundaries in the relationship. Yeah, you have to end up signing the restraining order. Anyway, that's it. I'm not going on and on and on and on and on and on. Excuse me. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we come for you? Okay. Eh, I'm happy for India for landing a moon rover for the first time ever visited the South Pole of the moon. I didn't even know they had a North and South Pole. All right, so we got our Indian moon rover hits jackpot. Detects wealth of elements at lunar South Pole. Oh, now we understand. Now we understand the space exploration agenda here. It's connected with money, the great obsession of the human species. Now, how the hell are you going to get these precious elements from the moon, from asteroids, from Mars? How are you going to transport all these minerals to Earth? How? Did you think of it? India's Chandrayaan-3 lunar mission is proving a scientific success as well as a technical triumph, with its Pragyan rover successfully analyzing the composition of the moon's surface close to the lunar south pole. The data, hold on, let me get rid of this annoying ad. The data returned has value beyond that of previous missions, both crewed and robotic, because the area being studied is close to the likely locations for future bases. So far, however, the mission has not discovered the most valuable prize of all, water and ice. Really? I thought the moon did not have an atmosphere. Strange, right? Okay. Uh, all right. I'm going to do some speed reading. They use the technology of laser, the pulses, intense pulses of laser light to detect certain substances. Laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy instrument. Okay, they confirm the presence of sulfur. Okay, this was all done on 1.2 watts of power. Interesting. The technique only reveals the elements, however, not the molecules in which they may have combined. Besides sulfur, they found aluminum, calcium, iron, chromium, titanium, manganese, silicon, and oxygen. Really? No hydrogen. A requirement for water has been found in the samples tested so far. Samples tested so far, but the statement says through investigation regarding the presence of hydrogen is underway. Well, then you didn't find water. You found oxygen. I don't know where the oxygen is coming from, since the moon has no atmosphere, but if you don't have hydrogen, there's no water. So why claim that you found water? You see what I mean? You can't fool old James P. Madonna here. I cannot be fooled. I cannot be winky-dinked like Mr. Haney said on the on Green Acres show. Here we go. Is my intuition on the money or what? Transporting massive quantities of material to the moon will be punishingly expensive. Yeah, like if you want to build a moon base. Even as the costs of space launches decline, consequently, the only thing that will make it economically feasible to establish a long-term presence there is if we can source most of what we need on site. So you're gonna mine raw materials on the moon as it flies up in the air and hovers, no atmosphere, and not much gravity, right? And you're gonna manufacture parts. How are you gonna manufacture parts on the moon? Unbelievable. Evidence, let's see, that water survives in frozen form at the bottom of craters near the lunar poles is one of the things that has sparked the latest moon race after decades of neglect. Yeah, it's in theory that it might be there. It's what has driven India to make its first moon landing at 69 degrees south and motivated Russia to its own disastrous attempt. Poppycock. That's what I say. Poppycock. Bet it. Unbelievable. Instead of looking at the pros and cons of the reason, the agenda for even landing a rover on the moon. If their goal is to do all this, to build the moon base, to find elements that they know there's mineral deposits on the moon because it's a rock, supposedly, and to search for possible ice crystals at the bottom of a crater. But their long-term goal is to either mine the moon and or build bases. But they realize that financially it won't happen. Then why go there in the first place and put the rover there? I mean, it's different with Mars, you know. Mars has some potential. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay, here we go. New air conditioning technology could be the future of cool. I would say that's a very cool article to read. Well, let's see. Conditioning. There we go. Okay, everyone. I need to visit the Progressive Discussions Mega Life 21 Studios public restroom. I will be back. I will be back sooner than I was last time. But I will be back. Okay, I'm back. All right, on to new air conditioning technology could be the future of cool. This past July was the hottest recorded month in human history. Incredible, isn't it? Heat waves smashed temperature records worldwide and even brought summer temperatures to Chile and Argentina during the southern hemisphere's winter. That's right. If you're south of the equator, your seasons are the opposite of being north of the equator. That is true. It's more than just a matter of sweaty discomfort. Severe heat is the deadliest of all weather events. In the United States alone, it kills more people each year than floods, tornadoes, and hurricanes combined. As climate change worsens, access to artificially cooled spaces is rapidly becoming a health necessity and an issue of basic human rights. I agree. Yet, standard air conditioning systems have ensnared us in a negative feedback loop. The hotter it is, the more people crank the AC, and the more energy is used and greenhouse gases are emitted. As a result, we're in a vicious cycle. Okay. But it's not only a vicious cycle, but it's an accelerating one. Cooling is the fastest growing single source of energy use in buildings, according to 2018 data from the International Energy Agency, following a business as usual scenario, and the IEA projects that worldwide annual energy demand from cooling will more than triple by 2050. That's an increase of more than 4,000 terawatt hours, which is about how much energy the entire US uses in a year. It's becoming increasingly clear that humans cannot outrun climate change with the same air conditioning technology we've been using for nearly a century. Breaking the cycle requires new innovations that will help bring cooler air to more people with less environmental impact. One well-known problem with current AC systems is their reliance on refrigerant chemicals, many of which are potent greenhouse gases. Some projects aim to replace these substances with less harmful coolants, but even if they do, the refrigerants make up only a fraction of air conditioning's climate toll. About 80% of a standard AC's unit's climate warming emissions currently come from the energy used to power it. Okay, a lot of recent work has gone into boosting the energy efficiency of compressors and heat exchangers, which are parts of standard AC designs. Yet more ambitious projects aim to reduce the amount of work those components must do in the first place. Standard air conditioning systems simultaneously cool and dehumidify through a relatively inefficient mechanism. In order to condense water out of the air, they overcool that air past the point of comfort. Many new designs therefore separate the dehumidification and cooling process, which avoids the need to overcool, undercool. The main thing to me is to get the humidity out of the air. That's the primary purpose. For example, some newer air conditioner designs pull moisture from the air with desiccant materials similar to the silica gel in the packets you might find in a bag of jerky or a bottle of pills. The drier air can then be cooled to a more reasonable temperature. This process can require some additional energy because the desiccant needs to be charged using heat, but some companies, including Somerville, Massachusetts-based startup Chiseler recycle the heat generated by the cooling process to recharge the desiccant. Chiseler claims that the system it is developing could use 35% less energy than the average standard air conditioning unit. Oh. Well, let me see if let me try to get to the point here. Do they have a technology Yeah, I'm gonna bypass the mumbo jumbo. Even with some of the best technologies available, the gains in efficiency alone may not be enough to offset the widely expected uptick in air conditioning use. Okay, no. They're talking about developing a new revolutionary system of cooling to replace the air conditioner that we know of today, but they don't have a product. So I'm not going to go on and read unless there's a product or unless the system was tested and it works. Cooling is a multifaceted challenge. There isn't one strategy or one answer. We need a combination of better buildings and cities, better technology, and better understanding that the true cost of air conditioning extends beyond electric bills. Well, that we already, so that's what the article is saying. What we do in one part of the world impacts the whole global environment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there's no product, there's no new technology yet. They just acknowledge the fact that they need to develop a replacement for the air conditioning technology that we have today because it contributes to the root of the problem, climate change, global warming. See, if they discovered a new technology and or have a product, then I would continue to read it. All right. I'll see if this is interesting. If this is interesting, then I'll read it. If not, I'll go on to the next article. Let's see what we got here. Atomic clock on Earth could reveal secrets of dark matter across the universe. Atomic clocks bring cosmology and astrophysics down to Earth, enabling searches for ultralight particles that could explain dark matter in a laboratory. Atomic clocks in use. On the right, the bullet cluster, a collision between two galaxies with a morphology that indicates the presence of dark matter. Scientists are using atomic clocks to investigate some of the universe's greatest mysteries, really, including the nature of dark matter. In a laboratory, in the process, they say they're bringing cosmology and astrophysics down to Earth. The project, which is a collaboration between the University of Sussex and the National Physical Laboratory in the UK, uses the ticks of these incredibly precise clocks to hunt for hitherto unknown ultralight particles. These particles could be connected to dark matter, the mysterious substance that makes up an estimated 85% of all matter in the universe, but remains effectively invisible to us because it does not interact with light, or more precisely, electromagnetic radiation. Scientists believe most galaxies are enveloped by a cloud of dark matter, but its presence can only be inferred by the effect it has on gravity. Hmm. So I didn't know atomic clocks were that important, and honestly, I don't understand how a clock can do so much, can achieve so much. How can new physics be spotted with atomic clocks? Huh. According to established laws of physics, clocks should tick at a constant rate, but physics beyond the standard model scope would result in tiny charges in atomic energy levels. This should affect the rate at which clocks tick, but the variation would be so small it could only be spotted with an incredibly precise clock. And that's where atomic clocks come in. Atomic clocks bring cosmology and astrophysics down to Earth, enabling searches for the ultralight particles that could explain dark matter in a laboratory. They already said that. Atomic clocks measure time using atoms with two potential energy states. When atoms absorb energy, they go to a higher energy state, then eventually release this energy and drop back down to the lower ground state. In atomic clocks, groups of atoms are prepared by placing them at a higher energy state using microwave energy and the characteristic and consistent rates at which they vibrate between states. Their resonance frequencies are used to precisely measure time. Okay, it's getting very deep in science. So I don't want to put people to sleep. So I am going to move on to another article that won't put people to sleep. All right. Let's see. Oh, this should be good. The making of stem cells. We'll give this a try, a shot. Give this a shot. All right, here we go. What is this? Let me get rid of this bullshit. In a first, scientists fully wipe a cell's memory before turning it into a stem cell. Very important. Let me get rid of this. Okay. A cluster of human-induced pluripotent stem cells. I thought it was abstract art. It can be. Scientists already have their ways of coaxing human cells into new forms, using a special concoction of chemicals to nudge humble skin cells into malleable tissues known as induced pluripotent stem cells. In spite of this new lease on life, these particular cells still retain a few genetic reminders of their time as a fully developed tissue, affecting their use as a blank slate. Now an international team of researchers has gone one better, finding a new way of wiping a cell's memory clean so it can be better reprogrammed as a stem cell. This might all sound like some molecular wizardry, but induced pluripotent stem cells, as they're known, to have been used in medical research to model diseases and develop therapies since 2006. Their discovery by a pair of Japanese scientists opened up a new realm of regenerative medicine, whereby embryonic-like stem cells could be engineered from ordinary human adult cells using a set of reprogramming factors. The promise of this is immense because they can propagate indefinitely and give rise to every other cell type in the body. They're not only incredibly useful tools for studying diseases, they are also shaping up as a stepping stone to individualized cell-based therapies, which could replace damaged or diseased tissues. Now, you see where I'm going with this? This is extremely exciting and important. In the lab, scientists have used them to grow heart tissue that beats like real cardiac cells and engineer mini replicas of organs called organoids. This is perfect for people that are waiting for an organ transplant without the side effects and the requirement of taking an anti-rejection drug. They have also given us an unparalleled view into the fundamentals of cell division and neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and motor neuron disease. But the process of fashioning them isn't perfect. Some cells retain the epigenetic edits applied to their DNA in their differentiated state, or even undergo spontaneous changes to these epigenetic memories that can affect the cell's behavior. This can create functional differences between these cells and the embryonic stem cells they're supposed to imitate. And there's always a problem, you know. And specialized cells subsequently derive from them, which limits their use. Now, they have sought to understand when those abnormalities emerge during cell reprogramming and figure out how they and other lingering markings could be avoided or erased. The team profiled gene expression as cells move through the programming process to know which genes were switched on and when. Well, you know, it's a start. It's a start. It's exciting. I mean, I know that the average person can't afford it, but if they can get to the point where they're mass producing organs that are specifically grown for you if you happen to need a kidney transplant, and there's no need to take anti-rejection drugs, that alone is extremely exciting. It saves lives. It allows these people to live normal lives. Okay. We're going to do a couple climate change articles. See where it goes from here. Okay. All right. And this is titled Questions and answers, Q&A, right? Is a critical system of ocean currents headed towards an imminent collapse? Then we're in deep shit. All right, let me check something here. Hmm. Um, hmm. Okay, like the 60,000 miles of arteries and veins that course throughout the human body, ocean currents are the lifeblood of our planet. Oh, you can imagine if they stopped. Some flowing short distances, others circling the globe, but all playing a critical role in regulating climate. We're in deep shit if they stop. I know the Gulf Stream slowed down quite a bit. One of the most complex system of currents, the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC, is a global conveyor belt, distributing heat throughout the Atlantic by carrying warmer waters north and cooler waters south. For the Earth's climate to remain in equilibrium, there has to be a huge transport of heat from low to high latitudes by the combined atmospheric and oceanic circulations. Okay. Now, this person, William Johns, uses a long-term moored instrumentation to study ocean circulation. In the northern hemisphere, the AMOC accounts for nearly 25% of that heat transport on a global basis. It is unique in the global oceans because the Atlantic is the only place where warm surface waters move northward all the way from the tropics to polar latitudes and are cooled and sink to great depths. Those deep waters, he explained, then move southward underneath the warm layer, forming a meridional overturning circulation that scientists call the AMOC. You already said that, right? The amount of heat it carries is almost unmanageable to most people, said Johns, noting that the value is a little over 10 watts. That's a 1 followed by 15 zeros, or a quadrillion watts. Wow, which is about 100 times the total global energy production on Earth from all power sources. Now, according to this, but is the AMOC, which affects patterns of drought and flooding, headed towards a collapse by the middle of the century? A recent study by a team of scientists from the University of Copenhagen was published in the journal Nature Communications, warns that under the current pace of planet warming, greenhouse gas emissions, a shutdown of the AMOC could occur anytime from 2025 to 2095. That's a big range. 2025 is not that far away, setting off rapid weather and climate changes around the world. Excuse me. Johns, who has been studying the AMOC for nearly 20 years, going out to sea on research expeditions that can last as long as a month, answers questions about the Copenhagen study, and provides an update on his own research related to this vitally important system of ocean currents. Well, well, if the current slowed down, we're up Schitt's Creek. If the current stopped, you might as well put your head between your legs and say goodbye. Catastrophic. See, if they weakened or collapsed, I'm just going for the keywords here, without putting people to sleep with too much heavy-duty science. If they weakened or collapsed, we would see the type of rapid catastrophic climate and weather conditions portrayed in the movie The Day After Tomorrow. Now think about this. If you haven't seen the movie The Day After Tomorrow, you're going to shit in your pants when you see it, because that's what might happen. Okay? Okay, this is the whole paragraph in a nutshell. So you people that are climate change deniers, you're right-wing imbeciles, better pay attention, better wake up and listen to the scientists. We could see the reality of that movie, The Day After Tomorrow. If you haven't seen it, see it. You'll be shitting in your pants with worry. And you better be worried. You better be worried. You better be worried. Okay. I'm saving the two pleasant ones for last. At least I think it's pleasant. Technology related, you know. Let's see this. Oh, you son of a bitch. Now what? There we go. I'm doing a live stream show, and a friend is sending me lots of videos about farting, about flatulence. The planet Earth is dying, people. Look, I see it all the time. When I go to TikTok, I try to see if I can cancel it out so I don't have to view it, but I'm stuck viewing it. It's incredible what people care about on social media and what they put on the social media platform like TikTok. It's just incredible. They just don't believe and don't accept that our planet Earth has an expiration date. It's dying, and it's all because of the greed of mankind. Profound consequences for the climate scientists discover urea in the atmosphere. What's that? It's piss, right? New research indicates that ocean areas rich in marine life are major sources of atmospheric urea, a key nitrogen compound, which can impact marine productivity and climate stability by benefiting nutrient deficient environments. These findings necessitate a revision of current nitrogen cycles models. Well, new research indicates that oceanic regions abundant in marine life. Oh, you already said that. Scientists from the University of Manchester have found that the ocean serves as the primary source of urea, a nitrogen-rich compound essential for the growth and development of living organisms. All right. So there's an overabundance of urea. It's not good. It's like pissing in the wind. Oh, ugh. Is that her? Can't be. She's in her 70s. Is that Stalker Channing? She was always unattractive, but what the fuck? Ugh. Poor woman. No, they're both similar. These two last articles are similar. It has to do with general purpose robots. And the exciting part is they will be affordable in the near future, and they will perform our household chores that we're tired of doing. You know, they might be just redundantly repetitive, and I think it's pretty exciting to have like a pet robot. Well, also, these robots are very close performing the job duties that are usually very unpleasant, perhaps dangerous, high risk. Something unpleasant like loading and unloading a tractor trailer in the scorching heat. Here we are. The only problem they have, and they're close to solving it, is having the robot's hands and fingers to give it the dexterity that a human hand has. That's the only thing that's preventing it from being able to do what I just mentioned. A new report by the BBC is quoting Geordie Rose, the chief executive of Sanctuary Artificial Intelligence, a firm engineering a robot for household chores and general purpose tasks. And the expert has stated that the development is less than 10 years away. Yeah, as long as the robot's programming doesn't get screwed up and then it tries to strangle you in your sleep. 10 years, an eternity. 10 years at the pace the technology is moving now is an eternity. That happens. That's true. Because technology normally moves at a very rapid pace. You know, every month there's new developments in the AI world that are like fundamental change. The household robot in May of this year, it's called Phoenix and is 5 feet 7 inches tall and 155 pounds. It's good size. Meet Phoenix, the new humanoid robot built for general purpose tasks. Research trained world's most advanced humanoid robot, Amica, on GPT-4 finds her less responsive. Humanoid robots are getting too close to reality. Its goal is to do all the chores and tasks that humans find so burdensome. And it's not just for homes. In a trial project undertaken in March 2023, the robot worked a retail store in Vancouver where it undertook 110 retail-related tasks, such as picking and packaging merchandise, labeling, tagging, folding, and even cleaning up the store. Yeah, all those jobs suck. Yeah, that's what we want the robots to do. The things that humans don't like to do. It even managed to use plastic bags to store clothes, a task Rose told the BBC was a true testament of how advanced the robot is. This is a problem that engages a lot of different complex issues in an artificial intelligence-driven robotic system. Because bags are floppy, they're transparent, there's a place where they open. Yeah, they're right. You need a lot of dexterity to do this. Usually after you manually open the bag, you have to release one hand and then go and put something in the bag. The manipulation of bags is actually very, very hard for robots. It's very, very hard for some people. Tasks film and digitalize for a virtual world. Now, Sanctuary Artificial Intelligence is planning on using film to train its humanoid robot, making it even more agile and efficient. Once the required tasks have been filmed, they will be digitalized to allow the robot, that might be a typo, the robot to reconstruct the movements. This will, and robots don't forget anything. This will allow the artificial intelligent part of the robot to practice tasks in a virtual environment until it has mastered them. Once that is done, it will repeat those same actions in the real world. Perhaps the most difficult ordeal in creating Phoenix is giving the robot a sense of touch so it can properly handle objects. That is a lofty goal that Rose and his team are currently working on. We have a facility with these types of tasks that come from an evolutionary heritage. That's like 1 billion years ago. No, I'm sorry. That's like 1 billion years long. They're very hard for machines. Phoenix is already looking quite effective at helping humans with both professional and household tasks. The question that lingers is, will robot overtake human jobs? Who the fuck wants to do all that bullshit? Seriously, yes, they will overtake human jobs. They'll overtake jobs that people hate. And dangerous jobs, yes. It's hard to dismiss the impact of a machine that can undertake so many general purpose tasks. One thing is for sure, Rose predicts that these types of robots will be commonplace, creating a whole new popular market. I agree, and I'm excited about it. The long-term total addressable market is the biggest one that ever existed in the history of business and technology, which is the labor market. It's all of the things we want done, he told the BBC. It seems humanoid robots are here to stay, for better or for worse. You're damn right they are. Yeah. All right. The last one is about the robots. Let me see if it's the same article or not. Oh boy, here we go again. I hate the small, tiny font. This is the last article anyway. Before I start fishing for guests. Before I cast my fishing lure for guests. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, I'm reading a lot of articles today because my co-host and right-hand man, Mick Von Raven, is away. He's away for the Labor Day weekend. So, and the other gentleman is uh, Ronald J. Terrio is watching football games. So I'm doing this Gordon Soley style solo. I've gone solo, but it looks like many people I know are busy because usually I'm loaded with comments. How long until a robot is doing your chores? Imagine the biggest market for a physical product you can. Are you thinking of mobile phones, cars, property? Oh, God. I'm going to try to read this. They are all chunky markets, but in the coming decades, a new product will be rolled out that will dwarf those giants, says Georgie Rose. Oh, we just read about Georgie Rose. Yeah, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Let's see, household chores. Uh, Before we get ahead of ourselves, he qualifies that statement. There is a long way to go from where we are today. Mr. Rose is unwilling to put a time frame on when a robot might be in your house, doing your laundry or cleaning the bathroom. But others I have spoken to in the sector say it could be within 10 years. Dozens of other firms around the world are working on the technology. What about creating cyborgs, like until they can actually grow limbs on a human being, like putting bionic legs on a person who doesn't have any legs anymore. Optimus humanoid robot. Perhaps the highest profile company in the market is Tesla, Elon Musk's electric car company. It is working on the Optimus humanoid robot, which Mr. Musk says could be on sale to the public in a few years' time. Yeah, but how efficient will it be? Will it be clumsy? Will it have the dexterity of a human to perform all these general tasks? Or will Elon Musk be in a hurry to make that quick, fast buck? You know, the Tesla cars have issues. I have to inform you people. So, you know how multi-billionaires are. They have dollar signs in front of their eyes. Here's Arnold Schwarzenegger next to a robot. Oh, that's probably the robot they use in the movie Terminator, one of the Terminator movies. these probably. That's it. That's it. Now let me cast my lure. Let me cast my lure. Uh, okay. All right. You have to bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Let me cast my lure. I know it's late and boy, oh boy. Oh, it's incredible this what people send me on the internet. Um okay. Um uh, okay. I sent out some links. Hmm. Yeah, that's good enough. We'll see who's out there, who's available this Labor Day weekend 2023. If people are, if everyone's busy, I'll just end the show. I mean, it's already been 2 hours, and 2 hours is pretty good. I know my throat deserves a rest. 2 hours of reading articles, it's a lot. That's it. Um, hmm. And that should do it. So we'll see who's out there. Let me let me refill my favorite mug, my Mexican Fiesta mug that I got at the Dollar Tree for only $1 back when it was $1 and not $1.25. I know the dollar stores raised their prices to $1.25. The rat bastards, they suck. Hold on. Let me go refill. I'll be back in a flash. Well, I don't know about a flash, but I'll be back. Ah, okay, let's see who we got here. Nobody. Nobody. Oh, excuse me. Oh, nobody. Boy, people must be really busy out there, huh? I'll wait a little bit longer and then I'll just close down the show. And usually I order some really nice, delectable food to be delivered on Sunday because I do the show. I think I'm either going to order a pizza with mushrooms, fresh mushrooms, eggplant, and anchovies topping, um, or I'm going to order Chinese food. Hmm. If I order Chinese food, I'm probably going to get deep fried fish fillets. I haven't had them in a while. Deep fried fish fillets with hot and spicy shrimp fried rice. You know fried rice? Fried rice. When I order fish and from Chinese, when I order any kind of seafood, I always like to keep the fried rice also seafood. I don't like to mix. I don't like to do that surf and turf thing. I think the last item I ordered from, we have some great places to order from where I live. I think the last time I ordered Chinese food, when was it? It was the last, it was last Sunday. I ordered Mongolian beef. It stir fried, very tender, marinated stir fried beef um, with green onions and regular onions, stir fried in a brown sauce. It could be a mushroom. Um, I don't think it's either oyster sauce or a no. It wasn't oyster sauce. It wasn't black bean sauce. It was like a type of brown sauce, which was most likely a gravy made from the meat, made from the beef. Let me try one more thing. Mm. Hmm. All right. So, is anyone out there for this Sunday's Labor Day weekend 2023? Anyone out there who is not doing anything? I know it's very hot here. It's like 90 degrees in northeastern New Jersey, and it's going to be 90 degrees all week. Um, we call this Indian summer. We had a taste of autumn, cool weather, which was gorgeous, cool, dry, and breezy. Then all of a sudden, we're getting this again. The heat wave is back, and there are festivals usually in my part of the country, uh, Labor Day weekend festivals. There's one in my hometown of Lodi, St. Joseph's Italian Festival, and then there's one in Patterson, the fall called the Patterson Falls Festival, named after the famous Patterson Falls, the second largest waterfall in North America, I believe, second to Niagara. I bet a lot of people don't know that. It's now a national park. And there are other miscellaneous festivals for Labor Day weekend. I know Fort Lee, New Jersey had St. Rocco's Italian Festival last week, I think it was. I didn't even know there was a St. Rocco. What was his name? Rocco Balboa? St. Rocco. St. Rocco. Hmm. St. Rocco's. Um, bear with me. Um, bear with me. Bear with me. Mm. Mm. Just hanging out. If anybody's out there and has a question or has a comment about any subject you want, um, feel free to post it. This is the tail end of progressive discussions for Labor Day weekend, 2023, the tail end. And I know people are busy this weekend, and it's understandable. It's the it's the unofficial ending of summer. Oh boy! Hello, hello. Uh, Go up to, hold on, hold on. Go, you see, hold on, not you, Daryl. I'm talking to somebody else. Go up to the screen where the URL is, all the way on top, and right next to the beginning, right next to the URL, is a tiny symbol, a tiny, like a padlock, a tiny symbol of a padlock. Click on that and activate your camera and microphone. You know, open it up. It's all the way on top at the beginning of the URL. I hope you heard me. Hello? Hello? That's, oh, Mr. Daryl Messias of Northern California. Happy Labor Day weekend 2023 to you and your family. That's good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Great show, James. Always enjoy listening in when I'm getting things done. So, what's going on in California? Are you still experiencing droughts and heat waves? What's happening with the weather there? I know the weather is very inconsistent here. Very very changeable, very inconsistent, very abnormal, or unseasonably. No, it's beyond unseasonably. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Daryl says, "Oh, you having rain today?" Well, yeah, you're in the north. Now, down by Los Angeles and San Diego, um, it's probably very dry and very hot. And you can imagine driving east of those cities and hitting the Mojave Desert and the Sonora Desert. The Sonora Desert is just east of San Diego. It's a beautiful place, but you know, these deserts are gorgeous and very peaceful and serene, but you know, not when you're hitting like 130 degrees Fahrenheit. That temperature they hit this year in Death Valley, California, was like 128 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, a pizza oven is dry heat, but you wouldn't want to stick your head in one. Oh, I posted them. I posted. I only got to watch the first match, the cage match between um, Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. It was pretty freaking good, man. It was really awesome. I don't want to spoil the end, but I put them on my Facebook uh, group, the International Brotherhood of Polygons. I always put them there. You know, the day after results, uh, I got the whole event, the whole payback. I got part one and part two, high definition. You know. Oh, so so the whole state experienced a terrible drought. I know when you get that monsoon, when they get that monsoon season, I guess that's what you would call it, right? Heavy rain nonstop in Southern California. All those homes that are built up on hills, the mudslides, you know, and your home just comes crashing down, sliding down onto the highway. It's not a good thing. Anyway, Masumi, if you're still listening, uh, look all the way up at the top where the link is showing URL, and right next to it is a teeny tiny little padlock. It's an icon of a padlock. Click on that, it'll drop down, and then you can activate your video, your video and your audio. You can select it, open it up. That's probably why you're not appearing. So I was reading one of the articles I read. I don't know if you caught me. At the beginning of the show, this woman that lives in a specific neighborhood in San Diego, all the homes, they're not new homes. They're all, over 40 years old, and she's been there for 40 years. They all have extremely short driveways, and in front of the garage. And the problem is that the car, like only 2/3 of the car fits on the driveway, and the third of the car in towards the back is blocking the sidewalk. It's over the sidewalk. You might as well say, I don't know if the rear tires are on the sidewalk, but I know that like at least 1/3 of the car is blocking the sidewalk. So she got a ticket for that, and the reason why she's so upset is because the other people in the neighborhood do the same thing. They have, and they received no tickets, no, from the city of San Diego. And there's nothing in the law. There's nothing in the city laws that mentions blocking of the sidewalk. So she could fight that. She was in fact blocking the sidewalk, but there's no like ordinance about blocking the sidewalk. But if she got a ticket, then the other people in her neighborhood, her neighbors, should be getting a ticket also. So my suggestion was on the show to eliminate the little front lawn that she has and have asphalt poured and just park sideways. You know, try to make one of those U-shaped driveways, you know, where you like pull in and you don't have to back up into the street. You just pull in forwards. You know, that's it. It's crazy. I don't know why they bothered to even build the homes that way. Either too many homes were built in that neighborhood because of greed, you know, the congestion of too many homes, because they are close together, or the lots themselves were too small and they had no choice. But one of the most clever ideas is the U-shaped driveway in front of the house, eliminating the lawn that you don't have to cut. There's no front lawn to cut once a week. So, and then as you pull in, when you leave, you don't have to back up. You just simply go forward. I know, I understand. Asumi, good morning to you, and happy Monday in Japan. It is 6:26 a.m. Monday in Japan. Did you understand what I meant? like all the way on top where the URL link is, you'll see a tiny little padlock symbol. Tiny little padlock symbol. You click on that and it'll drop down, and then you can see if your video and audio is activated. I had to do that too when I was learning, when I was in the learning process. So yeah, it's all the way on top, Masumi, all the way on top towards the left. All the way on top towards the left. You'll see the link. It'll say, like, it might say studio dot, it might say restream or something. And then right before the link is a tiny little icon, symbol of a padlock, You click on the padlock and it should drop down. And then you can activate your video and audio. But it's very tiny. Little padlock. So everybody, well, the people that are usually my co-hosts are busy. One of them, Mick Von Raven, is away for Labor Day weekend 2023, and other people are occupied. They probably went away, or they're with their families having a barbecue, or I don't. They might be at the beach because the lifeguards are officially not there anymore after Labor Day, despite the temperature of the weather, of the climate. Even if it's 90 degrees, there's no lifeguards there after Labor Day, which is our Labor Day is Monday. So after Monday, no lifeguards. So that's why I say the unofficial ending of summer. That's why I always say that. So, but I wouldn't go to the Jersey Shore beaches. They're a ripoff. I mean, to drive an hour and a half, fight traffic, especially coming home, deal with the traffic, deal with, and then they make you pay for everything. Pay to park, pay to change into your bathing suit, pay to get on the beach itself. And then they tell you you're not, now they're saying you're not allowed to bring food and drink on the beach, which means you have to go spend ridiculously high prices on the boardwalk for food and beverage and get ripped off. It's a total racketeering scam. It is total pure racketeering. I will tell you honestly, the Jersey Shore is pure racketeering. I'm from northern New Jersey, and I'll tell you, I will not go to the Jersey Shore again unless somebody invites me to go to Atlantic City and they have a comp card or something, like last time my friend took me to the Tropicana, and we didn't have to pay for anything. We got a nice room and free food, free drinks. Before that, it was the Taj Mahal. That's when Donald Trump was just a crooked businessman. And we had a pretty good time. But we were so busy, we didn't bother to go on the beach. You know, actually, I would have gone on the beach, but my friend is he's a bit of a compulsive gambler, so he, he was busy in the casino. I guess I could have went on the beach, but it was just nice being on the boardwalk on the Atlantic Ocean with that refreshing, cool ocean breeze. Well, I might as well shut down the show and figure out what kind of food I'm going to order. And that should be it. All right. Anyone else out there in cyberspace that has something that's important for them to talk about? This is the open topic segment of the show, and it's the ending of the show, actually. I just need to do something. It's tough for working class folks to afford to go places these days. You're right. You're right. Because when it comes to the bottom 98%, or the bottom 90% now, actually, if you're subtracting the top 2% of the population, it's very difficult for mainstream America, the middle class and below, to really have any surplus cash to do anything enjoyable, to go away, holiday or no holiday. Even people with a family, I mean, how often do they really go to restaurants, really, when there's a family involved? It's a bad situation. Groceries are very expensive. Cost of living in general is very expensive. And also, talk about racketeering, the cost of living in itself, nationwide, in my opinion, is a racket. Excuse me, is racketeering. Yeah, I just have to think about what I want. Do I want Chinese food, or do I want to get a nice pizza? There's a great pizzeria that I always order from. Comes out perfect. I can't complain. We paid way over $1,000 to spend 4 days in Los Angeles. It's just not worth it anymore. 4 days in LA. I'll be honest with you. I mean, even rental apartments in California. I mean, you're talking like in San Diego or San Francisco. You're talking like what, like $2,500 a month for like 2-bedroom apartment. It's really, actually, I would have gone to San Diego instead of Los Angeles. San Diego is such a nice place, especially the marina, and they have so many great craft breweries in San Diego, and you're not far from Tijuana. You know, where like Americans park their car on the American side in the parking lot, and they walk over to Tijuana, you know, and then walk back across the border. And then you can go hiking or go on a tour of. You can go hiking in the Sonora Desert. If you go east of San Diego, it's called Alpine, and which is the name of one of their breweries, among others. And the desert's there. It's really a lovely place. I loved it. Yeah, there's Alpine, there's Ballast, there's the Belching Beaver. There's a whole bunch of breweries in San Diego. $2,100 for a studio apartment. So in other words, 2,100 for a chicken coop. Well, a normal studio is a large living room and bedroom combined, right? A bathroom, a small like a kitchenette, which is sometimes just on the other side of the living room. I've seen a studio here. There's one big room. The person had their bed in one corner of the big room. They had their living room area on the other corner, the other side of the big room. Then against the wall towards that was right next to the front door, there was like a little kitchen area, you know, where they had what you would normally have in a kitchen. And then they had the bathroom and a closet. But if you're talking about the greedy scumbags in Midtown New York City, they took those very same studio apartments and they cut them in half. So you have an apartment like similar to Tokyo, Japan. I heard they have teeny tiny apartments, but that's a lot of money. $2,100. I mean, and then people say, well, why don't you pay mortgage with that? Why give it to some landlord? But then you have to put money down for a condo or a townhouse or a home. And as far as home goes, I don't want any part of any homeowners association. They're nothing but dictators. They're horrible. They threaten to fine you for every little stinking thing. They tell you what you're allowed and what you're not allowed to put on your property. You would never think of the words home ownership under an HOA because it doesn't feel like home ownership, really. I mean, you have a long list of nitpicky rules and regulations, and you can't, like this friend of mine, you can't leave your car. They don't want you to leave your car on the driveway. They want you to put it in the garage all the time. You can't have like a charcoal barbecue smoker. You have to use an electric grill. What the fuck, man? You have to keep your lawn really thin. If the blade of grass gets like a little too high, you see like a warning on your front door. You have to get permission for every damn thing. It's insane. It's insane. It's not like real home ownership. It's a dictatorship. It's crazy. You're better off just living in a townhouse in a gated community. At least all right. You have rules in a gated community and in a townhouse, but in a lot of situations, there's an in-ground pool where nice a nice poolside patio going around it. Oh man, it's crazy. $2,100 for a studio apartment. Well, it's rough. It's rough. People don't have really any surplus cash. All their money is going towards bills. In the early 1960s and in the prosperous 1950s, you had a whole family was living a pretty good life on one income. The father's job, which he happened to have for life usually, you know, he would have one job with one company and retire from that company. And he would put kids through college, but then again, they only had like it was only a one car family. Um, they didn't have technology. They didn't have many electrical appliances. That's why the older homes, unless you totally remodel it, they had very few outlets to plug in, which I hated. It's horrible having extension cords around the house so people can trip over them. Now the fire marshal doesn't even you'll get a violation if you have extension cords. They want you to use power strips. They want power strips all over, and so on and so forth. It was just a different life. Different life. I had when I was a kid, we had the beer and soda man used to come. I used to hear the clanging of the bottles from a distance. He used to come and deliver beer and soda in really thick glass bottles, where once you finish them, you return them for a deposit. You would get a little money back for returning the bottles, and they would sterilize them and reuse them. But they were like really thick, heavy glass bottles, and they made deliveries. And then there was the milkman that my father. Well, anyway, I don't want to get into it, but um, it was just a different life. Okay, that wraps it up. Thank you, Daryl Messias, for stopping by. Thank you, Masumi, for stopping by. Good morning to you. And thanks to myself. And it's just us three, for this Labor Day weekend 2023 special of Progressive Discussions. We'll see you next time uh, when things are back to normal. I read a lot of articles today. My throat is the way it sounds. A lot of work, when you're going solo. And yeah, normally I just read for an hour. And then I have co-hosts come on the show. But I needed extra material for the show because I knew that I was not going to have any co-hosts for the holiday weekend, because he was going away. All right, take care, everyone. Have an enjoyable end of a Labor Day weekend. Have a good Labor Day. It's just a holiday for retail. It's not a holiday for you. It's a holiday for people that work in offices and businesses, because they usually have the day off. But retail stores, if you work in retail, it's no holiday for you because they have Labor Day weekend sales and but I like it. I like it when it's not a holiday weekend because it's quiet, it's peaceful, and everybody's around. Everybody's free. You have a good night, Mr. Daryl Messias. You have a good night also, and you have a good upcoming week. I know here it's going to be 90 degrees every damn day, which means I'm not going to be hopping around too much outside. I'll be getting into air-conditioned vehicle, whether it be the free shuttle bus we have in my town or whatever. I am not taking any walks, not in 90-degree weather. So, bye-bye, everyone.